Carnegie School of Sport is probably one of the largest UK departments for sport in higher education. So within our school we probably have about 2,500 to 3,000 students, of which around about 10–12% are international students, and we've just recently been growing our international base with recruitment from India and also some strategic recruitment from the US. Within the sector, it's really important that we're monitoring the attendance of our international students, and there's a greater need for us to do that from a compliance perspective in comparison to our UK home-based students. I think that the challenge in that space though is that we want our international students to just feel like a student, and that we're not treating them any differently to our home students. And so our practices need to be consistent regardless of the student body, because fundamentally attendance is a way of measuring a basic level of engagement, which then informs conversations about a whole range of things with students in terms of what their personal challenges are, how well they're progressing in their degree, etc., etc. And that is needed regardless of whether they're international from further afield in the UK or from Leeds. Our approach as a university prior to SEAtS was probably quite different across the institution. All of our schools have different practices because we all have very different subjects, very different experiences for our students and very different students. And we always want to support our academics to create the learning environment that they feel is best for their students to deliver on the outcomes that we're working towards. And so a lot of those practices were paper-based, and then a lot of data entry, and lots of quite inefficient practices across the board, but without necessarily clarity in terms of this is the exact way that we're doing it, and meaning that we never really had confidence in the data to then use it for specific purposes. There's always an argument to say, well, the data's wrong, or etc. So yeah, real challenges with it. And whilst lots of people had really good practices from attendance monitoring, how that could then be used beyond the local usage was somewhat limited. So from my perspective, the three main things that SEAtS provides us is, the first thing is that it supports our students in knowing that as an institution and as individual staff members, we care about them, and that monitoring process is because we care and we want them to succeed. The second part is the fact that that data then informs real-world conversations, and conversations especially between an academic advisor or a course leader and that student around their situation, for both those who might be struggling to attend and those who are attending all of the time and have 100% attendance. And then the third thing I would say that's most important about it is that it gives us as an institution data that we have greater confidence in, that then informs our strategy and gives us a better understanding of the practices that we're adopting and what impacts those are having on student outcomes, which is so important for us at the moment as a university in the UK.